All right, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Another day, another Pokemon card. Wow, look at these two beautiful cards. This one's sold, so don't try to buy it. This one goes to Kyle Sexton. Isn't it lovely? You want to see it? Let's see. Let's bring the slide over. There we go. And zoom in. Zoom. Wow. I think it's a shiny Empoleon too, right? So this is from Plasma Freeze. Pretty sure that the Pokemon in these textured cards are shiny. That's Pop 30 from 2013, so it's about 9 years old. And yeah, very interesting. Apparently graded a long time ago too, because that's an old certification number. But I looked the card over, it looks extremely good. And he should just update the certification number. All right, which you can do that with PSA, they'll let you do that. Let me write your name down, Kyle Sexton. He has been asking a lot about this card. Here we go. How nice. Drill, baby, drill. That's right. Drill, baby, drill solves a lot of problems, by the way. Expensive energy. Drill, baby, drill. Too many Pokemon cards. Drill, baby, drill. Root canal. Drill, baby, drill. You know the drill. All right, look at this. Ooh. Drill it. Give me some wee ones. Mr. Frogs. Hey, that's Adventure Time, and it is a lot more expensive now. Woo. Let's turn this music down. I always like to have the music loud when we start. And then I regret it later. It's Pop 30. It's too rare. Already to be drilled. Time to drill that Empoleon. Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, I don't like to drill anything that's actually very rare. And I would define something pretty rare as anything that's Pop 200 or lower. If it's over Pop 200, it's not that rare. But I mean, it is kind of relative to the amount of people in the card market. So there we are. I myself am an Adventure Time card lover. Probably what I will do is I will take a box of these and probably send off all the packs to grade with booster pack grades at some point. Because I am a big fan of Adventure Time. If you didn't know that, I love that cartoon. My wife and I watched the entire, we watched Adventure Time and regular show while we were in college together. So those are sweet memories for me. You're going to have Paradigm Trigger tomorrow? I've ordered Paradigm Trigger a while ago, and I doubt that I will have it tomorrow. Actually, I can go look it up. But here's the thing. It's shipping all the way from Japan, and they generally do not ship it early. I don't think they're allowed to. So we might have it 6 days later. All right, it doesn't even have a tracking number yet. So in this case, it has not been shipped at all. But I have a guy who I like to order from, and he's sending me a bunch of them. Excuse me. Very nostalgic. Yeah, Adventure Time, love it. Actually, I still got those Marceline signature cards. But somebody mentioned the 9.5s don't go as much as a PSA 10. And I really want to sell them for around $1,000, and because that's how I value them, and because I think they're excellent. But if that means I got to regrade them with PSA first, then that's fine. We can do that first, and then we'll get them priced up. You know, if you're interested in getting them before I send them off to regrade, because you just can't wait to have one, you can also contact me about that. But if you prefer to wait, that's fine too, because they will go off for regrade. All right, and then maybe we'll find out a little bit about the regrades. Okay, so what we got here? Joseph Campolongo. He says, I can shed a light on the body count thing. Imagine you have Charizard First Edition. All the guys and some girls want your Charizards all the time. You'll get all these offers. It's your job to protect the Charizards and not sell them undervalued because you know what it's worth, even though some offers may be tempting. So when that special offer of $550 comes along, you're ready, but you keep selling your collection before then. You stuck on TikTok with Raw Unlimited Charizard with the bend down the middle, screaming, where are all the good buyers at? But society teaches girls to be hoes. So, so he's created a Pokemon card analogy to speak about a very common subject right now of infidelity. Maybe, I don't know if infidelity is the right word. Maybe like high body counts when it comes to premarital sex. And so a hot topic right now is, do girls have too much sex before settling down? And I would say pretty much across all nations, all countries, every ethnic background, every religion, it's pretty virtually understood. Guys don't want girls to sleep around a lot before getting married to them, you know what I mean? And it's a weird thing because we're like grappling with something that religion always just told us. A lot of us are not so religious anymore, and yet we're just discovering that these old principles in the religion, they're still accurate even when you leave. It's like, you probably don't want the girl who everybody in high school had sex with this one girl, and now you have to marry her. You just naturally don't want that, and that's because it's occurring at like an instinctual level for guys. That's my opinion. It's probably related to well, I get a feeling of disgust by it. That's the feeling I get. It goes something like this. There's a deep down sort of like lizard brain, monkey brain feeling that I'm going to end up raising some other guy's kid, or I'm going to get a disease. It's something like that. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just like a mechanism in your brain. Even though we're in the modern world and we got protection and we got all this other stuff, my body just somehow knows to avoid a girl who slept around with too many guys. Because if her body count is like 35 and you're number 36, it's not like there's not going to be a 37. You know what I mean? And you just kind of intuitively know that as a guy. You don't need to have it explained to you like I'm explaining it right now. You just kind of know. You're like, you're the next one, but that's not a girl to marry. You're just wasting time if you marry her. You're risking a lot of resources and heartbreak and again, potentially disease or fathering a child that's not yours. So yeah, that's your monkey brain speaking to you and warning you about, I guess, impure women. And so it doesn't really surprise me that made it into religious textbooks, because I think a lot of the textbooks conservative rules, were just written by guys who were also running off their instinct back then. Their instinct told them, make sure to find a girl who's for you and only you. And then now you're certain that you've got the paternal right to that kid. I remember back when they wrote those books, they didn't know whose kid was whose. They didn't have DNA tests back then. They also didn't have protection back then. So, but now we have those things, and we're a little looser. To me, it's not just about disease, I guess, and paternal, biological children, but it's also maybe about the ability to bond. I guess a girl who's had too many partners, I'm worried there's something wrong with her where she can't bond with someone. You know what I mean? Like, she couldn't stick with them. She didn't want to stick with them. And I could understand maybe a couple guys, maybe they were the assholes. But when there's like, you got a body count of like 40 people, starting to think it's you. You know what I mean? You just like to jump from person to person. So that's what it's all about. And there's a funny Charizard analogy, Mr. Joseph. But yeah, that's a very popular subject right now. Maybe it's a popular subject because a lot of people are having high body counts. But yesterday night, I was talking about how, guys contribute to this problem. We all want a girlfriend with a low body count, but then we all want to score. So how does that add up? Like, how is that possible logistically for that desire, that fantasy for men to be fulfilled of having maybe like a virgin wife or something like that? If you're running around taking virginity from women, it's impossible. So somebody has to be a loser in the society for that to occur. So if you're either a highly competitive male who believes that's okay, some guys are going to be losers and I'm going to take all the women's virginity, in which case I guess you're kind of like an alpha, an asshole that the lower group of men that should take down. Or you come to a more, let's call it a more diplomatic agreement where all the men agree not to do that anymore, which I think is generally what religions did then too, So if you were a guy trying to sleep around with girls in the past, you'd actually get in trouble for that. They didn't like that. That's why I just kiss dudes, says Coolius. One woman takes it for the whole planet and every other woman remains pure. Yeah, maybe. Mister, I'm about half an hour away from the gender reveal party for my new child. Oh, nice, man. Congratulations. Greetings from Finland. Monkey says, me too. Logistically impossible. Let the women rewrite the books. Yeah, let the women rewrite the religious books. You think the Adam and Eve story would change? You want to know why we're not in paradise anymore? Women. God, thanks, Eve. All right, Pat Gibbs says, grade my 2 best Minecrafts. Let's get started. That's a lot of responsibility if you think about it. Why did we fall out of paradise? Women. That is, whew. Look what you guys did to us. Your 2 best, huh? Definitely Wither Skeleton and Enderman. I hope it's a girl too, Tommy. Women did this to us. Okay. Okay. women. I saw you scooping MZ on Argos last night, by the way. Damn, we really did write that, huh? Yup. We were living in paradise, and we fell out because of women. A snake talked to a girl, and then she tricked us. And that's why we're living in a state of depravity. Thanks, women. Yeah, that's really in the Bible. If you think about it, it puts a lot of blame on women right away. And maybe that's a concept of like, don't be tempted by women or something like that. You know, that the story of the Bible starts out with warning that women will tempt you to be evil. Women will tempt you away from God. All right, Pat. I hope so. Those are the best women. All right, 10.20. Girls are mean to me. I'm sorry. Women are temptresses. I'm a temptress. I'm going to tempt you with some Pokemons. Pat Gibbs. I'm the ultimate temptress. You shouldn't even be here. Hide your wallet, guys. All right, what do we got? I am like Papa. Adam and Eve were related. I guess they were clones, actually. They weren't related. They were clones, right? So if she was biologically made from his rib, then she's literally him, but with the vagina. All right, let's see what's next. Hey, that's like crazy, man. William Henry, Mr. Just wanted to verify that the $122 I sent to finish my Zard slab away went smoothly. I missed it in the stream. Okay, give me a second, William. Let me check for that. I don't remember doing a William Henry. Let me make sure it wasn't a missed transaction. Zachary, Yolan, Wilder, Victor, Unyielding, Tyler. It looks like it went through because I don't see you on the list. Yeah, I am not seeing a William Henry. I'm not seeing a William Henry at all on the list. So it must have gone through. Okay, Liam Burrows, ship my small bag and 2 slabs. Liam, is that going to be international? I think that's an international shipment if I remember. Okay, toss this over here. Liam, I don't remember you having a small bag. Let me double check. I kind of remember you having a slightly larger bag. Who are these guys? These bags are a bazillion years old, man. Oh, this bag, look at this. This bag is a year old. Lorenzo Marquez. He about to lose that card. He about to get repoed. Tommy, you tweaking? He got 1 month left to come claim it. Do people sometimes have fake sold listings to try and manipulate the price? Fake sold listings? I guess you could have your homie buy the card from you online for like a crazy amount, and then he just returns the money to you in private. But you know, that's really expensive, right? Because eBay's going to charge you an eBay fee for that, and then the government's going to charge you a sale fee. They're going to actually say, you sold that item to your friend, and now you need to pay for taxes on that. So, you know, in theory, it's possible. Oh, he does have a small bag. I think it's possible. Okay, Mr. Liam, you must have had a large bag in a different life. We have shipped to you before. Oh, good. It saved all your information. And this is so lightweight that you are correct to get light shipping. Isn't that nice? From the UK, hey, you guys are having some crazy problems over there. Your conservative lady leader, Liz, I hear she just resigned. Oof. That was not a long reign. Let's see. We're going to call this Kid's Toy. Kid's Toy. You know, she said she wanted to reduce taxes to stimulate the economy. And I think that's not a bad idea. I wouldn't say something so simple as stimulate the economy. I feel like people need to understand why lowering taxes is a good thing, is because it incentivizes people to move in. It incentivizes businesses to expand. It incentivizes businesses to bring money back from international places so that they can pay lesser taxes but finally have it in the UK. There's all kinds of reasons. You know, there's such a thing as too high of taxes. There is such a thing, right? So the question is, what is too high? And that's where all the debate is held. But, you know, I think that the UK, I've looked at the UK's taxes, and I think they're not competitive with the rest of the world. And that's one of the reasons why you're losing all your millionaires right now. Oh, it's a great idea, but it's too late for UK. Imagine a system so held up that lowering taxes caused their market to drop. Right. So I think I understand it a little bit better now. what's going on is by lowering taxes, the government would not take in the money it needs to pay for all the socialism. So probably what you would expect is for the UK government to borrow money. That's what I think it would be. And since they can't just print money like the United States can, they would need to sell bonds to foreign countries. And the foreign countries are not going to want to buy those bonds. And so they're going to have to sell the bonds at a very good price, very good interest rate for those other countries. That's what causes the value of the euro pound to drop. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing you could do is just reduce government spending equal to the lack of. So if you reduce your income tax, the government's tax that is going to bring in by let's say 100 million pounds, but then it reduced its spending by 100 million pounds. Well, then it wouldn't need to do any foreign borrowing. And but what would happen is maybe the people in the UK couldn't pay their bills all of a sudden. Like the whole market would change. So yeah, people over there have become dependent on socialism, which is one of the things that we warn Americans about all the time. Don't allow yourself to become dependent on the government. Joseph Jones wants 20 sneaker bunkos. Excuse me. Holy Jesus, man. Let me grab some more sneaker bunkos. Holy moly. All right, Joseph, have I got some sneaker bunkos for you? Have I got some sneaker bunkos for you? Sneaker bunkos, that's the set with all the boobies in it. Yay, boobies! There we go. I think it's okay to have the government spend money on things. It just has to do so without getting greedy, without being corrupt, without being inefficient, without being just, kind of bad with money. But the truth is, if you want to know who's really good with money, it's rich people. Rich people are good with money by default. That's why they're rich. You cannot become wealthy over time without handling the money well. And so a lot of the times, the bureaucrats in the government, they didn't earn the money. They're just spending it. They didn't earn it. They just spend it. They win popularity contests, which is totally different skill, right? That's a different skill set. But now they're spending all this money that somebody who was good at money earned, and they just don't spend it as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right? Like whoever the accountants are for Amazon, they should be running the Treasury for the United States. They should be running the Federal Reserve. But why would they want to do that when those positions don't pay as well as being the primary accountant or the CFO for Amazon? You get paid more to be the CFO of Amazon. So you have this really interesting problem occurring where you're better off working for the nation of Amazon. I start to think of mega corporations not as just little businesses, starting to think of them as their own country, because I really think that's basically it. And the king of the country is the CEO and the shareholders to a degree, right? So, Amazon's a country, Microsoft's a country, Apple's a country. It's time to start thinking them as separate entities from your own country and treating them as perhaps an adversary inside of your country that doesn't have your country's interests at the forefront of their interests. And, it's a wild mister. Anyways, so your government is not ran by the most brilliant financiers. Why? Because those financiers are in the private sector. They'd rather be there. That's where they get rich. You don't get rich in government. I mean, you do, but you got to do some insider trading, right? But yeah, I mean, if you want to get really wealthy, billionaire status, you got to be doing some important business in the private sector. That's where the real money's made. Government, there's like a salary and it gets voted on, so the bureaucrats just don't get paid the same. There's no American stock to invest in, government stock. Maybe there should be. Wouldn't that be interesting? What if our government had to earn like a profit margin? No, that'd be scary though, because profit is not a good, that's not a good measure of a government really, because that would definitely lead to some questionable behaviors. Here we are. All right. You ready? Joseph Jones. The government's more like they're there to play referee to make sure profit-driven companies don't cross a certain line. Unvault, I have a friend making a couple of grand a month. Tibbies, that sounds dope. What? Tibbies? Ooh, what? All right, here goes. Booby girls, where are they? Okay. Booby girl. Like Don Cheney and Hal Burton, but I digress. Right, or Nancy Pelosi, you know, somehow her husband is making these brilliant stock moves right after she's writing policy with her friends about how, you know, like chip making companies are allowed to work or where they're allowed to work. You know what I mean? So it's not just a Republican thing. It is both Republicans and Democrats in politics who want to take advantage of their insider knowledge of what's going to go on to personally enrich themselves and their family, while the average American is struggling to have enough gas, have enough food, pay their rent, and enjoy something in life. You know, like she's living in a mega mansion, multi-bazillionaire with private gates and all that, because she hates the idea of homeless people coming into her home. But yeah, I mean, she lives a absolutely glamorous life and has all this power, and then she will use her position to maintain that power, and that's something that obviously we should vote against. Who's this? Why is her shirt down? Oh, she's in her swimsuit. That's fine. Girls wear swimsuits. Okay, we got some hollows here. Joseph Jones, picking up some naughty cards. You're also 3,000 years old. She is getting up there. Okay, it's got some hollows. Yo, there's so many naughty lewd cards in here. There we go. How many packs are in a box of Sneaker Bunko? 16. All right, let's see. But yeah, I mean, getting back to the point I was trying to make, I was trying to say the people who really are good at the money game, it's not your local bureaucrat. It's the guy working as the chief financial officer of your best businesses. Those guys understand money and markets, and they understand it backwards and forwards. That's why those corporations are wealthier than your government in a way. And so it's weird, the idea that, okay, if we were just socialist, if we would just take all the money away from the people who know how to make money and give it to bureaucrats who know how to claim that they know how to make money, then society will be more efficiently ran and wealthier. It's like, will it? I don't know about that. I don't think that's true. Yeah, but socialism works. I really honestly think socialism is just a balance of how many moneymakers you have in your country compared to money consumers. Those would be the people who are receiving the socialism. So if you lived in a socialist society where the majority of people are actually net tax contributors, well, yeah, you could have socialism all day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got more than enough money. The real problem occurs when you have too many people taking the money and too few people earning it. And that's why socialism always goes into a death spiral over time, because eventually, through poor spending and poor incentives, that scenario does occur, and then you're left with you don't have any more of other people's money left. Your millionaires start to leave. You have to start printing. You have to start borrowing. You have to start raising taxes. So your millionaire class kind of smells the sinking ship, and they're like, "I'm out of here." And then this actually exacerbates the problem. What would be the word? It accelerates the problem, and then eventually you have to change either the quality of the life of the people living there, or you have to inflate until you have hyperinflation, or you have to, well, those are probably the two major outcomes right there, hyperinflation or a significant reduction in the quality of the life of the people living there. Here we are. That would be like bread lines and lines to go to the hospital and stuff like that, right? Lines to get into school, maybe. Who's this? Wow, all those packs, and we only pulled one of those hoochie mamas. Here we are, the unclasped bra girl. All right, those are pretty naughty. Very good. Girl grabbing other girl's boobs. Oh. Okay, hollow girl. All right, how's it going, everybody? Hit that like button for me, will ya? It's Thursday. We love Thursdays, almost Friday. Here we are. Yeah, the goal would be to get people into your country, into your city, into your area who are net tax contributors, and to avoid having too many people who are simply taking that tax money and keeping it. They take more than they contribute. Sometimes they contribute nothing. They contribute nothing, they just take your money and that's it. And that's the relationship you have. I'll trade you a like for a free one. Well, mister, I'm confused. What? How's it going, Joseph Jones? What's confusing? I don't want you to be confused. Are you confused by all these sexy ladies? I thought sneaker bunkos were dudes. Darn it. Mr. Slow down. Alex is trying to screenshot the naughty cards. All right, there we go. So that's 20 packs. You got one full art. You got lots of naughty ladies. Now, I sleeved up all your hollows for fun. I don't know why. But this is interesting because we get a look at the holographic cards. This one's not really naughty. It's just a girl in a bikini. This one's definitely naughty. It's kind of naughty. This one's definitely naughty, right? But, I mean, it's kind of boring. Okay, this one's great. I think that one's showing off the female form, so to speak. All right, so it's interesting. Amongst the hollows, you really don't pull too many of the naughty cards. Right? But then we have these commons over here, and this is where all the naughty cards kind of come in. So you got lots of naughty cards over here. This card in particular is nuts. You only got one of the Master Slave cards. Oh, you got a couple of these, though. All right, cool. Wow, man. Alex liked them around this age. What, the age of 18? Here we are. There we go. You know, it's funny. Whenever you hear on social media somebody complaining about an older man getting with an 18-year-old, that's the age of consent. What do you want? When is a man allowed to date a woman? You already created a law stating when a woman can make her own decisions, and that was 18. And then if she makes the wrong decision, you're like, she's too young. It's like, what? Well, then raise the age, the minimum age or whatever. Raise it, if that's how you feel. You ever seen that? Get on like TikTok or some social media. They're all complaining. Yeah, 40-year-old men just want to have sex with 18-year-olds. Probably. Probably. All right. Whew. Probably never going to change. If it's wrong, then make a law about it. All right, next up, let's see what we got. Trevor Glisson, Japanese One Piece. You got it, Japanese One Piece. Time for 60 sneakers. 60 sneakers! One Japanese Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid, Dragon Maid. One. Oh, I'm in the T overflow. Thank you, Trevor. All right, you ready? Alex, you jealous I drilled Opal? Oh my God. Whew. Here's Dragon Maid. Hollow. And hollow. All right, Trevor Glisson with the TR. Joseph Jones says, wait, slabs or stocks? That's a good question. I mean, I'll say this one thing. If you only buy slabs and your house burns down and it has all your slabs in it, you're screwed. So it's okay to save some money in stocks, guys. But, you know, I'm so good at the card market. To tell you the truth, I'd be better off always buying Pokemon cards, it seems. Okay, Thomas Smart says, I have a bag for Astral Radiances. Pokemon cards consistently outperform the stock market for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 92 years slab away. You got it, Thomas. Thomas Smart, you're so smart. I'm at 10% TCCG slabs. Wow. What does that mean? You mean 10% of them have finished grading? Boy, I'm thirsty. We're out of water. We got to go to the grocery store and buy a new jug of water. Here's Shield On. You also have a nice platform to sell it, which helps a lot. No, I agree. One of the things I've told people is that anyone who wants to get into card collecting needs to make an eBay account and grow that eBay account so you have a consistent way to sell, and then document your cards on social media so people know what you got. So that's why I tell everyone it's very important, because it kind of allows people to know, okay, you exist and you have these cards. Also, when you're selling something real expensive on eBay, if you got a social media, they might contact you there and be like, oh, I found you here. Let's do the deal off eBay and avoid that 13% fee. So I couldn't tell you how many times that's happened for me. And so saving that 13% fee really comes in handy. People really prefer that. It makes more sense for someone like you to corner a slab in the market than me. That's not true. Yeah, that's not true. The principle of the idea of cornering slabs is the same no matter who does it. Okay, 92 is slab away. Let's apply that $90 now. Let's see, Thomas Smart. The difference is if you have to sell everything on eBay and I don't, well then I make 13% more than you, which is a decent chunk, right? That's the only difference. Okay, 92 years slab away. 435 minus 90 is 345. That becomes 3446. There we go, 346. All right. Abigail Zakik, 2 space jugglers and shipping. You got it. Space jugglers, where are those? Whoa, am I out of space jugglers finally? Oh, no, wait. Here they are. I think we're on our last box of space jugglers. I'm trying to have a good rep in Pokestan. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a place where our community can definitely get with each other and trade some slabs. Yeah. Here we are. Oh, we got Cleavor. Wow, beautiful. All right. What if the way Pokestan Marketplace operated is certain sellers could actually have like their own store in the Discord, where it's like you have a category with your own channels to that category. So it's your name. The category name will be your name, and then all the channels will be the things that you're selling, you know? So I've thought about that. Abigail with a B. Why do you go eBay buy it, mister? Is there a 13 fee? I have nothing but good experience in Pokestan. Well, you know, eventually something will go wrong. So stay on your toes and don't get overly trusting is what I'm trying to say. We hosted a selling channel before in our main Discord channel in the past, and yeah, there was some scammers and stuff like that, and that was one of the reasons why I got rid of it. You can have that name, mister. I can have the name Abigail? Abigail, that was a nice round, picking up the hyper rare Cleavor. Excellent, man. I know I didn't scream, but that was a snipe, man. That was a snipe. Okay, it's pretty heavy. Increase the weight here. Almost time for me to buy $500 of postage again. Print. I mean, we could feature the channels, the store channels at the bottom of the server. Yeah, I don't know. They will go to the grave with me, says Alex. What? All right, Manuel Castro, 240 towards my slab away Gengar, and then $9 shipping. Manuel. Okay, let's take a quick look into that, Mr. Manuel. Oh, I see. So you are all done with that Gengar. Awesome, dude. Okay, give me a moment. Now, Manuel Castro, you didn't mention if you had a bag that needs to ship out too. So I guess I'll assume not. Okay, let's ship them for the first time. Yep, we're going to have to go look up your address. Give me a moment. You always got to do your due diligence and operate in a way that protects you. I don't have a bag, just the slab. No problem. All right, let's see. There you are. Okay. I've got your address here. By the way, this is Pokemon music we're playing. Thought we'd do some Pokemon music today. Got your email. Okay, almost done here. Hurry it. Nice. Yeah, I need to move into a new house and set up like a super vault room with a bunch of huge vaults and like a vaulted door. And then, here, let me write only this on this. So John knows he doesn't have to look for anything else. And then I can start my vault service. TCC vault service. All right, cool. Joseph Campolongo. Joseph says, Lizzo says she is not making music for white people, getting a lot of respect. Wonder what would happen if a white person said that. The world would explode. Come on, Nux, I'm ready for the zombie dystopia. 1 box of Lost Origin, and can I get spot number 14 on the Charizard Battle Boosters? Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of, what would you call it? Double, what do they call that? Double standards? Yeah, there are a lot of double standards when it comes to that issue. So this is something that you see where people say they want equality. I don't think they truly want equality. I think equality is just sort of a weapon to say, actually, what I want is for my group to be better than your group. And, you know, it's very fascinating. I don't really... It's one of the reasons why I want to get out of America, because I feel like, will this continue? Yes. Will it be solved easily? No. So that's how I feel about America right now. I'd like to move to the UK, but weirdly enough, I feel like the UK's got all of their problems too, and their tax rate is far worse than the United States. And it's not like they're wealthier as a result of their high taxes. They're actually more poor with fewer industry, and yeah, it's weird. I'm back from the shower. Here goes. Yeah, why would you want to live in a country with all that? And I really feel that the strongest way to vote is with your feet. If somebody's out there saying that kind of stuff and it's applauded, well, then just go to the next place. Go to a place where you're treated well. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not sure if the UK would be a lot better. How many people buying raw singles in Pokestan? I've been wanting to send some of my big hits to PSA, but I'm on the fence. Mr. Joseph, 1 box of Lost Origin. It's kind of interesting because I've heard like Kanye West has kind of started. He's a black man and he's got a lot of influence. He's wealthy, and he's kind of against all that, I guess. He considers himself a conservative. I don't know if it's like a big act and he's just really clever at marketing himself and being different from everyone else, or if he really strongly believes everything he's saying. I heard he did some move to Australia, maybe. Yeah, I don't know much about Australian tax laws, but if they're a lot better than the UK, I'd really consider that. I like the United States, maybe. What I don't like about the United States is their culture. You got a couple cultures in America. You got the redneck culture, which I hate, hillbilly culture, which I hate, cowboy culture, which I hate, black rapper culture, inner city stuff. I hate that. I don't know what there is to love. So I don't know what part of the culture I really enjoy. Probably none of it. What I really like about the UK is it's ancient history and old folkish sort of feeling, and also their imperial feeling. Which, what's the point of that? Because they're not really an imperial country anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could get with a group of very angry people. That's who I think I belong around. I belong around angry people. And Americans are angry, but it's like in a way that makes me not happy. It's a certain type of anger, I guess. Maybe it's a sort of competitive anger, an anger to do better, an anger to build a great society, very determined and ambitious anger. But we don't have that in the United States. We have like, our primary culture is, let's be bums. I don't know where that came from or when it started. It deeply saddens me and I'm not interested in it. You need some southern neighbors. I don't know. Mister's going to take his clothes off and live in the wild. Move to the Philippines. I'm moving to the Philippines. Lizzo didn't say it that she doesn't make music for white people. She addressed the fact that the more popular you get, the audience and the crowd becomes more white. Why does that matter? Is that a problem to have a lot of people who are white who like your art? So isn't that supposed to be a good thing? If you are colorblind and race doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter who the majority race, color people that like your music is. That should not, it shouldn't even be a conversation. But I guess it is. Because if she's annoyed that it's white people, then she must be saying, well, I make art for black people and white people can go away. And it's like, that is racism, isn't it? What if we did that too? What if white people said, this art isn't for blacks? They need to go. We're more divided than ever. I don't think we ever really were united. Here we are. She says she's oppressed while living in $1 million mansion. Right. And that's what you constantly hear from people in positions of power. You hear that, oh, I'm oppressed. Oh, but they're like literally living lives of glamorous lives of, I don't know what words I can say. They're living much better lives than you. And then they complain. It's weird. Here we are. All right. And let's snip this up. Snip. But anyways, it's an interesting problem. I don't see color. I smell it. Snip. I don't dislike Lizzo, by the way. And I don't dislike anyone. And if you want to live in a country where everyone peacefully gets along, well, then we have to stop saying that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I want to hear the Democrats and the leftists come out and say, Lizzo, we want everyone to get along. You can't say that. We all got to like each other the same. That's what equality is about, isn't it? Liking each other the same. Anyways, it's sad. Here goes. We got Joseph with a whole box of Lost Origin. Let's pull you a Giratino. Why do we need to get along? Well, that's what I guess that would be what a multi-ethnic kind of globalist country would be, right? Everyone of every group needs to identify beyond their race and as something new, like I guess an American or something, which is more abstract, by the way. That's more abstract and removed from your biology than your races, which I think is why we see race being, the race wars are winning, in my opinion. Race has become more important to people than the concept of nationality. For example, when you hear people who say, you got to vote for her because she's a woman. You got to vote for her because she's black. You got to vote for him because he's white. You know what I mean? When you hear something like that, that's an appeal to your tribalism. Why would that work? Well, and the reason that would work is because people are really, and this is, this is me sharing my feelings. People are really that dumb that that's how they vote. And it's another reason why I don't like democracy. There really is a guy who would vote for somebody only because he's white. There's really a person who would only vote for somebody only because they're black. And when you step back and think about that for a good minute, you realize, wow, maybe voting's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Because voting should be about choosing the best leader, and that's it. The best leader. The leader that will lead to a result, an outcome of, superior economic output. That's it. Doesn't matter what they look like, who they are, what their religion is, who cares? But that's not how people actually vote. They go, hey, that person's got the same skin color as me. I have to vote for them for my race. What? That's bonkers, dude. That's the dumbest way to pick someone. But that's how we vote. And we know that's how it works because, the polls show it. And so anyways, I'm not really interested in living in a democracy anymore. I'm interested in living in the country that has the best people in it. That's it. The best people. And those people would be the hardest workers, the smartest, the best at doing what they're supposed to do, which is not committing crime, not committing rapes, not committing theft. Just a country full of talented and mentally fit people. But I don't really feel like that's the United States. I feel like the United States is quickly becoming the opposite of that. Switzerland, mister, that's where you want to be. Switzerland's on the map, man. My wife and I have talked about Switzerland many times. Here's Porygon. Look at that Porygon. They just vote for party, regardless of how unfit the candidate is. Lizzie. This Glizzy. Here's Stonk Journer. Yeah, we want to move to a place that's very hard to move to as well. Wherever we move, if we leave the U.S., which we talk a lot about, we want to move to a country that's very hard to immigrate into. We don't want to live in a country where it's easy to get in, because those countries just swell up with all of the people who are homeless go to that country. It doesn't matter what country you're from, you're just a target. You know what I mean? You're like, here we are. Our ancestors built this wonderful society. Yours didn't. Come live in ours now. And, you know, that's a certain type of country. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. That's a strategy, I suppose. I don't think that country ends up better off in the long run, though, because I think what actually happens is a race war begins. So because races don't get along very well. So I think in a country like that, race war begins. And now that's an opinion, and I could be wrong, and I'm open-minded to being wrong, okay? Most of my opinions are just based off of a very short life of 33 years. If I could view human behavior over hundreds of years, maybe I'd have a different opinion. But you see all the race wars occurring right now, like everywhere. Race war everywhere you go. Pikachu VMAX. So I kind of want to go to a place where there won't be as much of a race war, perhaps. And I don't know how to find a place like that. Here's Wurmple. Oh, of course, that's very wise to remember. Go to South Korea. It's the best country in the world. Here's Thornton and Trevenant. But my ancestors built this country, but not from this country, so why can't others come? Maybe they should. You know, like I said, I want the culture in America to be a culture of toughness and hard work, financial stability, financial intelligence, and we encourage intelligence, and we discourage depravity. That's what I want more than anything else. And then I want America to be the strongest economy by far. I want to do all the inventing here in America, all the achievement, and then I want it to be real hard to get in here, because we want to make sure we filter in lots of smart people. And but I don't think that's in the interest of these people who are playing at the top level. You could call them the aristocracy. You've discovered a few basic concepts. One of the concepts is you can get cheap labor by either deporting your job or exporting the job or importing the worker. But then there's also another one where you can change a democracy by changing its demographics as well. So these concepts, I think, are in play in every country that's a democratic country, including the UK, but also the United States. And so if you're living in a democracy, you have to be really cautious that you bring in people who share your constitutional values, the basic founding fathers or whatever you have in your country. Make sure they share your vision, because they're going to vote against you if they don't share your vision and you bring them in. And so you can change a whole country by just bringing in people who will vote against you. And that's another reason why democracy is actually a risk for your country. The legal ones almost always do. Here's Eternatus VMAX. Well, I don't know if that's actually true, because in America, I would probably argue a lot of white liberal women are going to turn our country into a socialist country, which is silly, because America is one of the wealthiest, most powerful countries in the world from not being socialist, from being free market capitalist, right? The founding fathers were upset about even a small tax from London, and they said, well, we'll just kill our British, friends, we'll just murder them all, and we'll make the country free of the UK, and we'll have low taxes. They didn't want a Federal Reserve. They didn't want that kind of stuff. So we're very much the opposite of what the country was like when it was founded. And if you import a lot of voters who are going to vote against your Constitution, you're going to fundamentally change the country. It turns out the country was not a piece of paper. The country was the way the people vote. And so your political opponent might discover, hey, it really benefits me to bring in people who vote against my opponent at the border. And this is a really important concept for democracies in the future, if any of them are left in the future. I don't know if they will be. Giratina, here's Arcanine and Beautyfly. A democracy can't be had. It's impossible. A democracy eventually defeats itself. Eventually, the largest group of people in your country vote to give themselves free stuff. And then your country goes into a financial death spiral. That will happen in every democracy. That's my prediction. Every democracy will eventually go bankrupt. Here's Giratina. Bought a pack of Cosmic Eclipse for my collection today. What? Every democracy will eventually vote itself into hyperinflation. Here's Poliwrath. And either that or they'll get rid of the ability to vote, one or the other. There we go. All right, Joseph. Woo, how was that, Joseph? That was a lot of chatty. I'm a chatty Cathy. Very chatty today. All right, hey, let's get you a second bag, Joseph. I like the idea of democracy. I think it's like one of those ideals. And I think it works for a while. It works if your democracy is filled with people who are really high quality people. And a democracy sucks if you're living on an island with a bunch of people who suck. So imagine if your democracy was made out of the most depraved people in prison, and they were primarily the only citizens of your country. Would you want to live in a democracy in that scenario? In Australia's case, yes. I'm just teasing. Australia, wouldn't they? They're like an island that the British deported people to, right? I don't know. All right, Joseph, you got 2 bags. It's fun to think about. Here's James Ralston, 5 anniversary packs. You got it. You got it. Oops. Coeli is Buzz Lightyear now. To infinity and beyond. Andy, you have cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we got 5 25th anniversary packs. Let's see what happens with them. Have you read the Communist Manifesto? If so, what is your opinion? I have not read the Communist Manifesto. I get the basic idea of it, though, because I've heard it talked about over and over and over again. The idea is you give your assets over to the government who redistributes it to make sure that the people are in charge of, like, having the wealth that is created from the assets in your country. But it never actually works out that way, because it turns out the tyrannical CEO is not a lot worse than the tyrannical government that is in control of the money. Look at this Gardevoir. So nice. Aw. All right, let's see. Yeah, so somebody has to be a force of power to hand out and redistribute that money. And that power will be the government, because the people will form a government to redistribute those funds. So once the government has control of the military and the money, what are you going to do if you don't agree with how they're spending it? What if you go, wait a second, I actually work a lot harder than anyone else. My job has a lot more risks than other jobs. My job required way more education, and per hour, it's a more valuable kind of work. I deserve more money. I'm ambitious. And then you look at your government laughs at you, and you say, I don't like this. They say, what are you going to do about it? We got the military and the money. You got nothing. So why would you want to give your communist government 100% of the power in your country? It makes no sense. But here's the fun subject for you guys. What's the difference between socialism and communism? And I would argue, not a whole lot. They're actually the same. They're the same. They're samesies. They're siblings. Communism is the older sibling. They're the same thing. There's not a lot of difference. All right. I feel like you might as well just call socialism communism. It's easier. It's just communism and capitalism. Centralized planned government versus a free market government. All right, James, let's grab your bag. Not a lot different. Why did I add so many extra letters? Like the Spider-Man meme when they point at each other. Here's James Yee. Anniversary packs for TJ. TJ who? I'm silently quit if you don't stop. Jimmy Cabrera. All right, you're not in here. Here we go. I'm gonna vote for more welfare if you don't stop, mister. Mister just turned into an owl there. What did I turn into? I went, whoo. Anyways, a socialist government is a government that says, we'll have capitalism, you'll have private companies, private property, but we're going to take some of your money and give it away to poor people. And everyone goes, that's so moral, yay! But what really happens is the government increasingly takes more and more. They do not incentivize people to be ambitious. They do not incentivize people to struggle, to improve, to be efficient. It turns out the government tends to take that money and give it to the voters so that it can win elections. That's corruption in my book. It turns out the government takes that money and they give subsidies to companies that they're invested in. All kinds of corrupt things happen with that money, it turns out. And the government, at the very least, spends that money less efficiently. And the people who are the recipients of that welfare, they spend the money less efficiently because it's not their money. So that's just how it is. When you get $100 for free, you spend it willy-nilly. When you have to be in pain to earn that $100 at your job, you're like, oh my God, I do not want to spend this because it sucked putting it together, getting that money together. So you just spend it more conservatively when you're the person who earns it. And so this is why spending someone else's money always comes out less conservatively than spending somebody else's money. And so a centrally planned economy where the government decides where the money should go just it's not as competitive and it's not as efficient as a society where I get to shop to the business that is most innovative and most meets my needs. You can also talk about capitalist economies that turn into a monopoly, but you're supposed to have your government break up monopolies. So I'll just add that. Brian Price says 2 arcanas. You got it, man. See on YouTube, Jordan Peterson talk about Communist Manifesto, pretty ingesting opinions. I think it may be interesting. She hasn't even seen the rest that is still getting shipped over here. If it went to socialism, I don't think I would be working 100 hours a week. I've been playing in my current Minecraft world for 30 days. What can we do to build a better society? Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. Well, there's all kinds of approaches you can take to it. You have to have a really good leader, an inspiring leader that inspires people to be better. That's it. And then the people also have to make that choice to actually be better. And that may not happen. People may fail to their desire to be hedonists, to be nihilists, to be just lazy and angry at outrageous nothings. And yeah, it just may never happen. And the result, of course, is war, by the way. So if you can't make the choice to be uncomfortable now and do what has to be done, like earning good money to take care of your own family, you'll suffer down the road eventually when your society collapses and there's a war that occurs. And the war might be nonviolent. It might be a nonviolent war. Have you guys thought about that concept of a nonviolent war? I think a nonviolent war is when everyone who's successful moves out of your area. So, and all of a sudden your area spirals into poverty because nobody's left to pay taxes to it. And that happens, by the way. You have cities, you have areas where it becomes like a death trap to live there. And the poor are trapped, of course. It's not the wealthy who are trapped. It's always the poor who are trapped. But you behave in a way that scares away all the nice people. They go, I don't want to live next to this. This is dangerous. I don't want to live in a society filled with dangerous people who might shoot me at random because of the drug war or some stupid thing like that. I'm moving out of here. And so, the more of that occurs, the funny thing is, the more you accelerate toward becoming a degenerate third world society, and that might occur in a microscopic way in America. So the whole country might be wealthy, but one city or one strip in particular might become just so impoverished, it looks straight out of a third world country. And that already occurs in America, I believe. So, and so, we worry about the whole country suffering from this. Well, no, it's already happening. It just happens in, certain locations in America. It's already happened. And people are out there suffering, living worse lives as a result of it. But, the decision to improve this has to come from the individual at the end. GM moved out of town and it went to shit. To start with education, Yeah, I would say education's important, but it depends on what kind of educating you're talking about. By education, do you mean take your toddlers to like a drag queen show? I don't think that's education. I think that's probably that's what would you call that? Brainwashing, maybe? That's pushing your ideologies and sexualizing your children. So I don't think taking your children to drag queen shows, which your taxpayers, you pay for that with your taxpayer dollars to take your children to a drag queen show. In, I don't know where they're doing that. I guess California or something. Because I, there would be some crazy stuff happening if that was going on in Missouri. I don't think people would tolerate it here because this is a red state. Why do drag queens want to hang out with kids? I just don't get it. I don't even want to hang out with kids, but drag queens, they're cool with it. They're like, yeah, let's get some kids around us. Anyways, yeah, that's not the education that's going to solve anything, in my opinion. They're having drag queen bingo by my house coming up. Hey, for adults, that might be a fun night. I would go to that. I'm an adult. I would go to that. Just not for kids. Let kids be innocent. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with kids being innocent? They don't need to know about sex right away. They got all their childhood to just be innocent. You don't even hit puberty until you're like 15 or something, right? Or 14. Why are you taking kids to a drag queen show? Let your kids be innocent. Anyways, wild. They really do that stuff, huh? So here's Gregory Pablo, 2 sneaker bunkos. Gregory, give me some boobies. Yeah, if you're an adult, do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not here to judge even. I'm very open-minded about whatever you're doing sexually. I don't care. But kids? Why are we pushing it on kids? Are you like trying to normalize it for them ahead of time? We have a word for that, don't we? Isn't that called grooming? Mister, I think drag shows are amazing for kids. That's why I vote blue every year. Oh my God. It really introduces them to opening their minds to a beautiful and vibrant culture. Here we are. Whoop. All right. Gregory with the G. Yeah, there's a battle for control over how we brainwash our children because children aren't smart enough to think for themselves until they hit, I don't know, 17 or something like that. I don't know how old they got to actually be before their brain is capable of critical thought and debate. But so there's a battle between the Democrats and the Republicans right now to control the education of children and what they're learning in schools. 25, yeah, maybe. Joseph Campolongo, 12 sneaker bunkos. Donate the guy cards to Joseph Jones. Oh my God. I might have 12 right here. What about the basketball player that's helping his son become a girl? I have no comment. I swear wisdom didn't even start until 25. Instead of showing kids drag shows, why not show them other countries or cultured areas within the U.S.? I think we should be teaching every child how to innovate, how to invent, how to start a business, how to invest, how to pay taxes and avoid paying taxes. Those are the things that really matter. But instead, we're teaching kids how to twerk. And that's fine. If you want to send your kid to a school to do that, why should I pay for it is a good question, though. I'm a taxpayer, and I don't want to pay taxes. By the way, I don't even have kids. So why should I pay money to send your kid to school? It's not my kid. I didn't have sex with your wife. So and so it all kind of culminates into this scenario. Imagine I was living in California, and I had to pay taxes for a kid that's not mine to go learn how to twerk from a drag queen. I would rather, like, go to war. Like, no, you can't force me to do that. That was the whole, like, Boston Tea Party thing. That's just too far. Why would I do that? Why would I pay taxes to teach a kid how to twerk? It's not my kid, but he's going to learn how to twerk from a drag queen. What? It's just too far. Social media is teaching kids to twerk. Well, guess what, Jepster? That's free. I don't have to pay any taxes for that. So don't take my money from me. The kid can learn it online for free if they want to, if they so choose to. So why would I pay for that? I shouldn't, is the answer, by the way. That's the correct answer, is you should not have to pay taxes on that. Nobody should have to pay to teach, middle school kids how to twerk. That's absolute insanity. And it could just be the case that the American people are just too complacent. Maybe they don't care. Maybe, well, I don't care. I don't care. But it's weird, though, because I feel like Americans turn around and they go, why am I so poor? I can't figure out why I'm so poor. Maybe if we just let the government take more of my money, then I'll be rich. The government taxes you on everything, and then you get to pay for, like, the least useful ways that money could be spent. I don't know. Who's this? All right, pack number 1. Joseph, you got the sexy bunker right here. Sexy elf lady. Very nice. Oop. Imagine if the founding fathers could, like, just come back to life and see this all. I wonder what they would say. I feel like they would not agree with it. I mean, they watched a bunch of young men die to like, create this country. And so they go, oh, so now the government takes all your money so kids can go to drag queen shows. They would probably have their minds blown. They'd be like, what? They'd be going, what? What are we doing? This ain't right. That's not freedom. I should be free not to have to pay for your kid to go learn what the drag queens do. That's freedom. Free to not raise your kids for you. That's freedom to me. There we go. Boobies. Look at all these boobies. There we go. All right, what else? Here's more boobies. Look at those boobies. Wow, man, boobs really sell a card. Books are for simps. Now, education is very important. I love education. Twerking is not education. You know, learning how to engineer a new product, that's education. Now you're learning something valuable. We need Booty Sneaker Funko. Where the hell is Booty Sneaker Funko? Whoa! Boobies card. Bear boobies card. There's just some things that don't need to be taught in school. I'm not against those things, but they don't help them get a job or be better adults. Right, exactly. It's just kind of wild, man. Hey, you got a full art? Okay. Very nice. You got the doggy card. Can we also get some financial literacy classes while we were on the subject? I thought you said literary. I just didn't read the word right. There we go. Yeah, I agree. Well, my wife told me that she actually had one of those when she was younger. Her school had a class that taught a little bit about retirement, but she was explaining that it wasn't very good. Like, it didn't really teach how the world is working. And she's like, my wife was telling me that I have a much better grasp on how finances and money is working around the world, and how, you're turning a profit from things, and how anyone's turning a profit from things. And I'm like, yeah, that's just because I actually do it. I don't just talk about it from a book. I make it happen. So I understand it because I'm doing it. And I would agree that a lot of just like, yeah, go to school, make $40,000 a year, and put $500 into a stock market mutual fund. I understand why that'll never make you wealthy, because you're essentially still just one of the working class. That's all you are. And at the age of 70, you'll retire with a tiny little crumb of Social Security and just enough savings that you can pay for your cancer surgery and your heart disease surgery, and not lose your entire, life and house for it, so that your children have a small inheritance that they can hand off. But in the UK, they would take 40% of that inheritance. Isn't that interesting? 40% of whatever you give your children is taken by the UK government. All right, let's see what we got. Joseph Campolongo, which is an absolute abhorrence. That is theft. Why would you let your government steal that from you? They already taxed you when you earn that money. The UK government already taxes you when you earn your money, and then when you hand it to your children, they take 40% of that. It's literally just the government taking everything. They own you. That basically is communism. How's that not communism? That is so much money. Anyways, Christian Garcia, 1 pre-grade check, and 2 express grades, the best ones. Good thing the TCC community is paying attention. Be smart enough to get it all out of your name far before your death. Well, I was reading about this, Matt, so they were talking about strategies to avoid it, and apparently there are no good strategies to avoid it because it's already been figured out. They're like, try gifting it to someone. Try give it to your children early or something like that, and apparently none of that works. So Christian Garcia. Let's see. Generational wealth is not discussed enough. Yes. Well, I guarantee you the royal family benefits from generational wealth. And they're not paying any 40% wealth tax. Your wealth tax go to them. So that they can live their glamorous lifestyles of being the aristocracy and, getting to be televised on TV. I guess they're just famous for, and I don't dislike the royalty, but it's just... I dislike the amount of taxes that are taken from the actual working class. So that's wrong. You shouldn't take so much. I like this a lot. This is kind of cute. That's full art. Let's see. We're looking for your best pulls here. I like this Weeping Bell. I won't tell you why. Oh, come on now. Come on now. There we go. So, all right. What's that Final Fantasy card on the left side? Is kind of blurry. Oh, that's Lightning. I can get that for you in a minute. Guess we have to consider that one. All right. Let's take a quick look at these. Loving this Slowbro. Oh, yeah, he's not bad. I like the centering on this one. Hard to get a card with good centering, by the way. And so amongst these two, I do not know which of these two is more popular. I'll go with this one because it gives you a full body view of the character. All right. I'm not an expert on Animu girls. Christian Garcia. Man, I'm so stoked to be having a boy. Did you guys just find out it's a boy? Congratulations, man. It's so funny. Dads want boys and moms want girls. Each gender preferring their own. I guess that's not always true, but I think it's a general rule. There we go. Yep, just now, 10 minutes ago. Woo! Congratulations, man. 10 minutes ago. Wow, we're keeping up with Pokey. We're part of the gender party right now. Gender reveal party. Having a boy. My mom wanted a boy. Right, I think I've heard of that. Moms who want sons or something like that. If you had to name your child after Pokemon, which Pokemon? I don't know, dude. Charizard. That's not true. I wanted a girl, actually. I already have a girl, though. Now, a boy. You wanted a girl, but girls have cooties. My mom wanted a girl and had 3 boys. Then had her tubes tied. That's so weird to me, the whole tying the tubes surgery. There we go. All right. Your tubes tie themselves as you get older. You don't need to do that. Christian Garcia. That's going to be 10.20. What if you had one more kid? Let's say you had 4 kids rather than 3. If that kid was actually born, there we go, and you could look in their eyes and be like, oh, you're a human being. I'm related to you. Could you tell them you shouldn't have existed? I'm disgusted by your existence. Should have tied my tubes. You know what I mean? This is a rough way of thinking about life. But, you know, if you just practice, like, just family planning and stuff like that, but I mean a surgery to disable your functioning body parts, I've never liked that. It feels like a disease to me, like a mental disease. Joseph Jones, 10 bulk grades, Final Fantasy, and booby cards. Joseph, I know you just want the booby cards. You don't have to dance around it. When will the TCC baby be coming? My wife says she's probably ready to have a babies now, so you guys might be hearing about babies eventually. Long line? We're trying real hard. No, very short line, actually. We have a short line today. It's looking like we might have already pulled your really good Final Fantasy cards out. Wait, here we go. Onion Knight, Red. Oh, there we go. The Emperor, Golbez, Sid Highway Magus, Chemist, Summoner. This Titus, actually. I noted my Titus sold. Baby time. We're trying real hard. Don't wait too long to have kids. Thinking about getting Sanic cards. See, well, that's what I'm saying, Matt. Like, there's these people so concerned they might have another child that they're paying for a surgery not to have children. That money could have just gone into your current children's college fund or retirement account. But you're so concerned about having another kid, you literally pay for a surgery for it. And it's like, bro, you just wait, man. Just give your body some time. Don't worry. They tie themselves. Your tubes tie themselves. Does not make financial sense to me. A lot of things humans do does not make financial sense to me. So that's 4, 5, 6. All right, we're there. We got 10 cards for you. Mr. Joseph Jones, thank you very much. I think John's going to have a good time encapsulating these. That surgery allows you to make whoopee raw. Wow. There we go. What are you talking about, dude? Here we are. Do I have some sound effects myself? My kids are a 13-year-old boy and already have over 100,000 gaming and card collections. We have graded tons of cards for them, and over the years they pulled. Nice, man. Basically, I need to send for 40 more grades. Whoa, that's a lot of grades. All right. Well, I think these girl cards are going to do fine for you because they did fine for me. I sold out of them like in 1 day. I think it was more like 2 days. Okay, here's this card here. Titus Legendary. That's non-hollow Titus. Golbez Legendary. But I'm Joseph. All I do is grade. Nice, man. I love graded cards myself. You know that. That's how I collect. That's how I collect cards. I like to only collect graded ones. I've heard there's people who grade or they collect ungraded cards. I don't know. I'm not a fan. There we go. I have 91 getting done soon from the July special. Whew. Finally get the Giratina Alt-Art today. Nice. Found out it's a boy. Great day in my book. Listen to this, guys. He got alternative art, Giratina, and a son in the same day. This guy's a king. Lightning, Golbez, Titus. I need a tip for my bunghole. Your bunghole, your schlong. All right. Congrats, Tommy. That's a win. Joseph Jones. Primals. A tip, I have one for you, Ricardo. Primals need to know. What's up, David? Okay, now we have Ryan Diaz. Lugia Slabaway. Okay, Mr. Ryan. It's going to be $5.91. All right, cool, man. Colt Hicks. Discord says 77 left on my Slabaway, but it should be like 53. Okay. Let me get you your Pokebra. I tell you what, Colt Hicks, I don't really feel like doing all the research and the math on it, and you've been buying from me for a long time, so this time we'll skip the math on it. You pull a lovely Nidoqueen, and I'll just accept what you said is true. Here's Colt Hicks. All right. She's excited too, I'm sure, though. Says Sunday Cafe. Yay! Now, your Slabaway. Slabaway. Says you got Snorlax. So one of your payments must have been missed, huh? Is that right? I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Feed us, delete us. And I'll jump up here. Oh, there it is. Wow, you got him at a pretty good price. Pretty sure he's a bit more expensive now. Get you a new sleeve. All right, Snorlax. Lovely. There we go. There we go. Shoop. And now we can delete that. I think we did. Clip. There we go. Next up, we got 6 people in the queue. Alan Abale. 1 live custom for Alan. You nice slab. I'm a Snorlax collector. You are picking up a Fortnite card. I think this is just the junk card this time. Let me also get you this. I must have had a Fortnite junk cards near me at the time. You get a little free poker card today, Mr. Allen. 3 bulk grades, whichever card you feel are worthy. Worthy! All right. Whatever I feel is worthy. Is that a full art? That's worthy. Whatever is worth. Ooh, this is cool. I like this Durant. Oh, that's cute. Dude, your bag's so annoying. Hold on, let me get these hollows all fixed up for you. Where did all this even come from? Wild, man. All these messy hollows. He's cool. He's cool. So you got some other cards you might grade in here, okay? Actually, we'll trade the Durant out. There we go. Wow, yeah, a lot of stuff in there, man. All right. That Pikachu. And what was the other card I was thinking about after passing through the rest of the bag? There was one other card I was thinking about. Oh, this Gengar. All right, so we swapped it up a little bit. I got one of those in Slab Away. All right, very nice. Oh, and your hollows. Now your hollows are in the front so that you can give them away. Let's grab you 3 sleeves. How is your day going, guys? It is Thursday. We're getting close to Friday. Ooh, Friday. Me likey Friday. All right, put this in here. I'm about to go to bed. No! I'm in Los Angeles. Nice. How is Los Angeles today? What do you like the most about Los Angeles? Alan Abale. Alan Abale. I'm working and watching. Alan Abale. I'm about to enjoy some Oddish and Chill. Prostitutes. It's about 90. It's hot and quiet, honestly. I don't like it at all. Oh, I like corn. It's corn. Oh, I should have made that a sound effect, the corn song. Kyle Chapman says, 1 Arcana. Okay. Kyle Chapman. Gonna entertain you with 1 Arcana. I like how LA has LA street dogs. What's an LA street dog? What's the best place to live in California right now, guys? I'm not from California, so you got to educate me. What would, if you were living in California and you just had all the money in the world, where would you move to in California? Okay, Kyle, it was a bit cold. Not hot at all. Bacon wrapped hot dog. Oh, a street dog. I'm in class right now. Nice. Not San Diego. That area in GTA. The Beverly Hills. The Beverly Hills, huh? All right, let's look that up on Zillow. Beverly Hills real estate. Okay, and I'm going to look up newly listed. What is this music? This is trash music. This is from Pokemon Brilliant Pearl Shining Poopies. Let's jump to this. All right, so it looks like a new $2.4 million, 2,500 square foot condo is up for sale. See, I don't think I could do a condo. Here's a 12-bedroom, 15-bathroom house. I'm not looking for that. Here's a very small 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $1.8 million. That's just too small for me. But the price range of 1.8 million is actually something I'm looking around for. Here is another condo for 3.3 million. It's pretty expensive for a condo. That's a condo, dude. All right, here's a 4-bedroom, 7-bathroom house. Why are there twice as many bathrooms as bedrooms? I mean, that's kind of inefficient, don't you think? You only need 1 per bedroom. But that is 8.8 million. So it sounds like I couldn't move there. I'm too poor. Let's take a look at it. Oh, look at this weird grass it's got going on. Oh, how avant-garde. Spacious, I guess. I like that. My wife would love that. The swimming pool in the back, my wife would go crazy for that. Yeah, she would go absolutely crazy for a pool like that. If you could have insane value for if you want insane value for 1.8 million, you could move to Texas. I'm definitely too poor for that. Ridiculous. I'm moving to San Bernardino. That's pretty cool. So that was recently listed, but that's 8.8 million. You know, it just feels kind of like a rich person thing. Here is here's a more modest 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom house. It's 3,500 square foot. It looks very pretty from the front. You got basically 5 million, right? So let's see. Very small front yard. Rooms look super basic. They look old. Of course, they're renovated, right? Because it's expensive, but they look very basic. Okay, similar to the other house, you got a pool in the back, but it's actually a smaller backyard as well. And you're right next to your neighbor. Yeah, I don't know. How much cheaper was that one? Was that a lot cheaper? Oh, it's a lot cheaper, though. So it's 4.9 million. That's a very large difference in price. Okay, very interesting. Some of these houses in America are crazy. Spend millions on a house. It's crazy money. All right, let's see. What's next? We've got Tyler Davis to Minecraft. You got it, man. Whoa. Are we still here? Phone falling over. I saved it, I think. Wait, what did I turn on? Oh, there it goes. All right. And let's grab that Minecraft pack. So I recently moved the Minecraft over here. I would love to have one of those super rich apartments in New York City. What is it about New York City that attracts people? So if you're living in New York City, and you might be if you're watching this stream, what do you like about New York City the most? I'm always interested in learning this stuff. You know, there's people who I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better. I just threw up from that crazy ride. I pulled on the charger wire. That's what pulled it over. I'm suing, mister. You dropped me. Tyler Davis. Matthew says more opportunities. I'm sure there's a lot of business in California, or in New York, but I feel like there's a lot of business in California too, don't you think? I'd love to have a farmhouse. The smell and the rats. Oh, a gas. Oh my God, so cool. Inky, sitting in traffic. Now, I know you guys are all criticizing it, but what about the people who are happy there? What do you like about New York? 2 grades as well. I saw that. What am I listening to? Am I listening to anime music? Is this Pokemon music? Skip that. All right. No one there is happy. Yankee hats. Hey, I live in New York. That's a lie. What do you like about New York? We're doing some, educate us about New York. And don't just give us a funny answer. Give us a real answer. Here's drowned. Inky. All the people. Who is happy in New York, honestly? Play Twilight Princess. Oh, I'm trying to put 2 cards away. That's part of the reason why. I bet it does feel like you're at the heartbeat of the world. Just because you see a lot of people. I mean, there's places like in Indonesia where they've got a very high number of people concentrated into a small area. I live in Alaska because I don't want to see people. Opportunity is probably the best, but I don't know. If that were true, why are there all these millionaires and billionaires in places in California, Florida, and Texas? I mean, how can you argue is the best? The best is whatever works out for you in particular. So yes, somebody else might be living in New York as a billionaire or a millionaire. That doesn't mean you're going to become a millionaire or a billionaire if you move to a particular place. Drugs, Mr. Drugs. Outside the city of New York and the city in New York are two different worlds. Yeah, true. I agree with that. All right, so this guy's off center. I'm going to do you a favor and get these two instead. Do I get into the venture of all the E-Series hollows? Absolutely love MX City too. All right, so let's see. Tyler Davis. Yeah, we're just doing some learning, talking about different cities. All right. Ooh. I feel like when you're moving to a place, you should look for its absolute advantage at something. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I've considered leaving Missouri, because it doesn't really feel like it has an absolute advantage. It's got Lake of the Ozarks, which is really cool, by the way. It's a place where you can get a fantastic lake house with a dock, and compared to other places, you can get that relatively cheap. It's relatively cheap. Tyler Davis. Maybe they have the business in New York, but maybe decide to reside in LA. So one of the advantages I have in Missouri is that the cost of living here is cheap. So, and I have a sort of a nationwide business because it's online, right? So if I can live in the cheapest place with an online business, then there's sort of a financial advantage to that. I've been seeing Ohio and Missouri TikToks everywhere. Have you? Most normal Ohio, or most normal citizen of Ohio, or something like that. Now that I've got a girl, though, we talking about leaving because we don't want to raise a family here. In New York, here's Tyler Davis. I want to say something interesting to all you guys living in a big city. I feel like if you live in a place with a bazillion people living in it, your odds that your partner leaves you, in my opinion, goes up. You know, one of the things about living in a place like in the countryside, your girlfriend, your wife doesn't have as many options, literally. Neither do you, by the way, which keeps you loyal too. So you sort of protect yourself from the near infinite opportunities of hooking up with other people. You get away from hookup culture is what I'm trying to say. And that is more conducive to having a very stable sort of like nuclear family life. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting thing nobody talks about. When you move to the countryside, you're more likely to stay together as a couple. There we go. I think when you live in a very busy city, you're competing with all these dudes to, you know, obtain a woman and keep her, and she's just got tons of opportunity. She can turn on the phone and dating app, and there's a million men around her. That's just not true out here where I live. There's not that many people out here. That's insecurities. I don't think it's insecurity. I think that's an analytical reality. You can analyze the world around you and go, there is a ton of opportunity to hook up with somebody in a city, not in a countryside with a low population. Buy land, grow your own food. I mean, I lived in a much smaller area and there weren't too many great options. And I moved out here, had a ton of opportunity to meet girls and met my dream girl, so it worked. Well, right. I mean, meet your dream girl and then get away from everyone. That's what my point kind of concludes to. Why would you stay in the place where everyone's hooking up? Get out of there. Get to a place where people are staying together. All right, now we got Joseph Campolongo. When I was like in second grade, I thought, why do we kill each other in war? Why not just get our smartest people to play like a chess game? I was a naive kid. Now I know you got to kill them all. Please ship me out. You got it, Joseph. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I feel like war is an unfortunate reality for humans. We have competing ideas and competing desires over limited resources. And so because we can't agree on how things should be, we have to end it in some kind of conflict. And that conflict often turns bloody at some point. But I was talking about the idea of a non-bloody war. And I think that is basically it's politics, but it's also business. It's also culture. It's also education. So we're having this non-violent war, and your whole country can change similar to the way your country would change. So like when you get invaded, when you're in the middle of a war and Russia invades you, at the end of the war, you're Russian. At the end of the war, if Russia wins, you're not Ukrainian anymore. That can happen to you, but without any fighting. Your country can become something it wasn't at all just 20 years ago. It can just totally change. And I feel like that's essentially occurring in the United States. Our culture is significantly worse. Financially, we have $30 trillion of debt now, and everyone's calling for socialism now. And nobody's having stable family lives. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people are deciding, hey, you know what? Hookup culture is the way to be, apparently. You know what I mean? It's a degenerate it's a degenerate future for when you actually get much older. Somehow, without ever fighting, we've moved away from our constitutional ideals. And so that's why I'm saying you can still have a war, but it doesn't have to be violent. And I think that that's been going on for a long time. They call that the culture war, war on drugs, war on this, war on that. When I was younger, I heard those terms and didn't really think they meant anything. I almost thought that they were like, what would you call it? Hysteria. Hold on, I'm printing this. In sort of like just somebody who over-exaggerated the importance of something or the problem of something. I'm older now and I see how different the country is, and I'm thinking to myself, no, this was a real thing. You really can change a whole country in a non-violent way. Like how we have this defund the police. That's shocking to me. I was born in 1989, and so I have memories of the 90s, and I could, for the life of me, I could not imagine anyone saying defund the police in anything. I mean, like, if you listen to the Democrats from the 1990s, they were all against homosexuality. That's how not progressive we were back then. And that's a different subject entirely, the whole like LGBTQ thing. But like cops, that's just so fundamental to a society to have law and order. I couldn't ever imagine a movement like that ever, but it happened. So it really shocked me. The country's really changed. You're not supposed to laugh in front of a mule, says Tyler. What? What does that mean? All right, let's see what's next. I forgot to say, please donate the Pokemon Hollows. You got it, Joseph. Next, we got Sandra Rocktoff. 1XY Evolutions. Sandra! What's up, Sandra? Mr. Just Give Quip 3 babies. No time to cheat. Here we go. 300 babies. Somehow it's black versus blue, as if they're being racist, trying to look out for their own lives. Here we go. We got Vulpix, Electabuzz, Magikarp, Haunter, Beedrill. Well, and I feel that the blatant disrespect for law enforcement coming from our own leaders is what's causing such a massive spike in theft, in murder, and rape. And if you look, it's all up this year. All those things are way up. So when you disrespect your own law enforcement, why would you expect your people to fear law enforcement or to respect law enforcement? They don't. So, and then what do we got? We got all these videos online showing people running into stores with like bags, and they're just filling the bags up and walking right out because they don't care. They go, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. And that's the consequence, in my opinion, and it's a bad consequence. It makes your country less worth living in. Sandra with an S. Oh, Sandra. We're going to find you, Sandra. I think you're going to be right over here. Mr. What's up, Jorge? Creates chaos. Yes, good. What about Trump's riot? The January 6th riot where they went into the Capitol building and didn't kill any politicians, didn't kidnap any politicians. I mean, I agree. We don't want that. That is against law and order. That's against democracy. It can't just be mafia rule. So we can't have that. Okay, so if Democrats want to rightly criticize that, can we also get the Democrats to rightly criticize the Black Lives Matters riots where they decimated whole cities, costing billions of damage? I think something like 25 people died. And there's so many videos of people just running into every store and looting. Can we just also criticize that? And if they can't, well, then I don't care about their opinion on the January 6th thing. I just don't care. So a bunch of people went into the Capitol building, which, by the way, that's the government building that you're protesting, right? So we do allow protest in our country. And if the Black Lives Matter riots had just been, everyone rushing the Capitol building, I would respect that more than if they had gone around looting everything, which is despicable to me. Right? Because at least you're going into the house of the politicians instead of into the livelihoods of a private citizen who might actually agree with you on everything that you're saying. But no, it wasn't about that. It was just about looting, in my opinion. It was an opportunity to loot, opportunity to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly. I saw people carrying ATM machines away. Jeff Leon, 1 sneaker, 1 Mushoku. Here we go. They should have been charged as terrorists. I don't really agree with that. I think we should charge them as terrorists if they actually coordinated to kill a bunch of politicians and did. I think it was a protest that broke the law, a protest that broke into a building where they're not allowed to be. That's it. They didn't steal like billions of dollars of merchandise or anything. 1 Mushoku. Yeah, it's very interesting to me when Democrats complain about that, but they don't equally complain about the riots that we had that summer. If they equally complain about both things, I'm in agreement with you. If you're only mad about the January 6th riot where they broke into the Capitol building, I don't agree. They stole the podium. Actually, they did not. That video, that guy actually came out and he talked about it. He said he picked up the podium and somebody took his picture and then he set it back down. So he said, of course I didn't take the podium with me. Where am I going to, he was explaining, where am I going to take a podium? You can't just carry a podium away. Here we are, Jeff Leon. If you equally criticize both things. Whoa, look at that. In the sunlight, Roxy. Nice, man. Jeff, you're just too lucky, Jeff. Okay, and now we've got, naughty, hollow, naughty. Whoa, you got a really good pack of Sneaker Bunko too, man. It's pretty good. There we go. Yeah, my question to you would be, how do you feel about the Black Lives Matter riots where whole groups of people were destroying private businesses that had nothing to do with George Floyd? They didn't kneel on him. They didn't murder him. They didn't agree with it. But people ran into those buildings, set them on fire, stole all their goods. How do you feel about that? Do you agree that that can't be allowed either? That should be against the law, and that they should be talked down to from their leaders and say that's not acceptable in this country. And if you say, yeah, I agree, well, then we're on the same team. We are on the same Z's. We're besties. But if you only condemn one thing, well, then, you're like a hypocrite to me. You're just playing the politics game. Which I'm so used to over time. You're really just playing for one team. You're not playing for team you're not playing for team rationality, you know what I mean? You're playing for a particular team that you have a preference for, and so you close your eyes for one group, but then you point the finger when the opposite group does something that didn't cause as many damage at all, you know what I mean? Riots are bad. Breaking the Capitol building, attacking federal police, and causing death seems a bit worth. Well, yeah, somebody did die. The woman who got shot and killed by Capitol Police, she did die. I agree with that. Yeah, they didn't set the building on fire or anything like that. But you're right. She did get shot by the federal police. That's interesting. And you got a bunch of people held in prison right now, like political prisoners for it. All right, let's see what's next. We've got Aaron Bradley Gordon. Hey, mistress, Aaron Bradley Gordon. Not to be confused with Bagley. Can I please get 3 Opus 5s? Ooh. So if we're a bestie, that changes everything, mister. That's right. We're always besties, guys. It's important to remember that when you're having a heated conversation about politics. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point of politics is to reach enlightenment. She was being a thug. She deserved it. Here we are. All right. Both sides are clowns. Both were not good. Life was lost. Let's all agree. Politics suck. I love politics. We all care about what's best for the country. Schumer isn't that good of a shot. Honestly, no one knows the answer. All right. Here we are. I mean, when I just compare them side to side, one seems a lot worse than the other. Multiple people died from what happened at the Capitol Police. A police officer died from his injuries. Minister, give the best bestie advice you got. All right, besties. Here's the best advice. No glove, no love. That's my bestie's advice. Just like we put every card into a sleeve. Here's Layak, Gabranth. All right. You pulled Hollow Sarah, man. There we go. And Sarah. That was the career criminal that started all those riots. Another committed suicide. I'm sorry, but I can't count the suicide, man. If you and I got in a fight and then you killed yourself later, you suicided yourself later, I can't be responsible for you committing suicide. You have to be responsible for suicide, okay? That's what suicide is. That's when you kill yourself. Aaron Bradley Gordon. Mr. Aaron. Here we are. What a nice pull. Ooh. Wow, beautiful. All right. Did the Empoleon sell? Yeah, he sold even before the stream started. Holy schmolies. All right, and you know what? We are pretty close to 2 hours, and I'm out of orders. Yeah, says Aaron. I think I'll wrap up here, guys. We'll be back on tonight. It's crazy how few Aarons I know in real life, but in TCG streams, we are everywhere. Mister, I bring up the podium because it's so funny. I believe his explanation, but that was funny. Yeah, actually, you know, he was on a talk show, and he talked at length about the whole experience. He talked a lot about how he didn't really consider himself an extremist. He didn't really consider himself super politically motivated. But he felt that what was going on in the elections didn't feel right. He was talking about how he felt like the change to the elections felt like it was a sort of fraud. It wasn't a free and fair elections. It was a change at the last moment to the way that we vote. And so he felt like it was an illegitimate win. And he went into the building, and there were a lot of pictures taken. After it was over, he got put in jail for a whole year. He sat in jail for being in the for having broken into the Capitol building. So he sat in jail for a year, and he's still in trouble at this point. And he's saying a lot of other people who did that are still in jail too. So they've been in jail a whole year for breaking into the Capitol building and doing nothing because they haven't, you know, nobody died. And, you know, how long should they be punished? You know, that's a good question. I don't want people to break into political buildings. I don't think that killing politicians is a solution. I think it's basically a declaration of civil war to kill politicians. So political assassinations can't be acceptable ever. But that didn't happen. There were no political assassinations that day. And I watched it just like everyone else. I watched a lot of people, like, they're very angry, and, you know, they forced their way into the building, and then they left the building. You know, they didn't set the building on fire or anything like that. I don't know. The actual outcome, you know what I'm saying? The actual outcome was not that bad. I didn't hear about any of the politicians getting hurt or anything. And it just doesn't bother me that much. The riots, the Black Lives Matter riots, where actually an enormous amount of damage was done to private citizens, is more offensive to me than the Capitol riot. Neither are okay, but one was more damaging in the end. The result was more damaging in the end than the other. So that's how I ended up feeling about it. And let's say let's say Donald Trump had won, and Democrats had broken in. If Republicans were still complaining about it to this day, I'd be like, who cares, dude? They didn't do anything. Democrats do that quite often, though, don't they? There's a lot of protests that occur all over the place all the time. Do you ever hear me talking about it, complaining about it? I don't care. I don't have time to care. There should be something substantial to talk about. And they call it like the darkest day in U.S. history or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't feel that way. It feels kind of like political theater is what it feels like. The guy from Headley was sentenced to 5 years today. Whew. 5 years. I wonder if anyone who was in the BLM riots will get 5 years for what happened that day. There were people who died, right? How many people died in the BLM riots? I watched a video of somebody getting killed. I watched a guy getting killed in a video. It was basically a white guy and a bunch of black guys just took bricks and stuff and just literally beat him to death. And they recorded themselves doing it. Yeah, it says at least 25 Americans were killed during the protest. There we go. It's just, all I want is for the other side to acknowledge that it can't be normalized. We can't normalize that. That's all I want. I think Democrats should say that was wrong and we don't agree with that. That is not what you heard during that time period, and I don't think I've ever heard it. But it's weird because I never stop hearing about what happened on January 6th. It's just constant. It's on the TV, like brainwashing stuff over and over. It was like propaganda over and over again. Mister just ordered toward my slab away. Let me take care of that for you, mister. Here we go, Brad Beetle. All towards my Typhlosion. You got it, Brad? Oh, Brad. I think I'm going to go play some Smite. Kick back. Maybe open some Pokemon cards. I'm just kidding. Newsom would make the correct changes. What's the new pack break? I don't want no box break. Yes, Z-Dogs, we'll start a new pack break this Saturday after the box break activates. Can I order 2 Star Wars packs real quick? It says Tyler D. Tyler D, go for it, okay? Technically, I'm supposed to be with you guys for another 10 minutes. Sunday Cap says, I used to main Emir. Emir is here. I got a level 10 Emir. Actually, can I look myself up on that game? Let's see. Smite statistics player. I think there's a, yeah, Smite Guru. I'll look myself up on Smite Guru. It's such a cool website. Let's see, and this would be for Xbox. Dork. Oh, what the? Why does everyone gotta have cookies and stuff like that? Do you agree with the cookies? It's been like 5 years. Well, you stopped playing for a while, huh? Oh, here we go. So this one must be me. It says last seen 13 hours ago. Look at my win-loss rate. So playtime 1,150 hours, win-loss rate 52%. Just barely positive. Well, all my matches are basically with randoms. Look at this. Assault's my most played game mode by a lot. That's funny. Last seen, Mr. Lost. Ooh, I want to see this. Most played gods. Can I click on this? It's always wild to me how different perspectives make you view peeps differently. Y'all always say how Newsom looks like a villain, but literally everyone I know thinks Newsom is such a daddy. Dude, he looks like he's straight out of a Batman movie. Like Gotham City or something. So does it rank it for the gods you played with best? God stats for all queues. Oh yeah, okay, so your win-loss rate, you ready? So here's Zeus, but I've only played him 6 times with a very high win rate. What a surprise. Apparently I won with Hell, Amaterasu, Atlas. I've just started playing Atlas. Here's Bacchus. So Bacchus is pretty good overall. 50 times with Bacchus with the 72% win rate. Here's Cerberus with the 75% win rate. He's one of my favorites. I like Cerberus. Wan Yu, doing pretty good. 68%, 44 matches. That means I'm doing well with Wan Yu. Muzen Cobb's pretty high. 60 matches, 63%. I'm surprised that Anubis is good. I was terrible at Anubis for a long time. I took a lot of practice. Look at that. 300 matches with Kepri with the 61% win rate. Very good. Here's Rom. I didn't know I played Rom so much. Terra. I win with Terra. I didn't expect that. Ganesh. Wow, Ganesh. Vulcan, apparently I do decent. All right. Ardio. Cthulhu. Every time I've got Cthulhu on a team, I feel like my teammates are terrible. Here's Amir with the 45. Geb with so I played Geb a lot. 54, that's what I meant to say. Kuzenbo. So I can explain Kuzenbo, though. I played Kuzenbo a lot. And the problem for Kuzenbo is when he was first released, he was terrible. And I really didn't understand how to play him. They buffed Kuzenbo over and over and over again. And so my win rate is probably trapped at that 53%. But what you don't know is I win almost all my Kuzenbo matches these days. I win with Kuzenbo really consistently. But when I first started playing him, I played him night and day and had a terrible win-loss rate. I would lose a lot of my matches. I didn't understand him. I just thought he was cool. And but over time, I got really skilled with them. And now, let me go take care of that order. And so now I'm a lot better with them. All right, Tyler Davis, 2 Galaxy 2 and 2 grades from Star Wars or Minecraft. You got it. All right. That's my old PS4 account. Emir. Sounds like an excuse. No, it's not an excuse. What I'm trying to say is I was real bad with him when he came out. He was confusing. I didn't really understand what you were supposed to do with him. And they really buffed him. Later on, they really buffed him. It was buff after buff after buff. Tyler Davis. The trick with Kuzenbo is not to worry about your cooldown items. You're supposed to build lots of damage mitigation because that's what he specializes in, right? Damage mitigation items, even if it means skipping out on your cooldown items, because you're supposed to carefully use his 2 for your cooldown. When his 2 activates, he reflects damage, and each time he reflects damage, his other moves cool down. So the trick is no cooldown items. You send out your 1 and your 3, then you activate your 2 to cool down your 1 and your 3 a second time. And your opponent has so much trouble with you because since you're stacked on all damage mitigation items, you're like nearly unkillable. And being able to pull or peel your important opponents out of the match or into a out of position sort of scenario is what he's really good at. Or you could use your Watery Grave, which is his 4. And the Watery Grave is excellent at splitting the team up, your opponent's team up, so that somebody important on that team doesn't get to make their move, or they're forced to be, behind the rest of their teammates. Oh, that's cool, man. We were trying to go semi-pro, but Microsoft brought out tournaments for Smite. So you playing the long game with that one. Whoop. Yeah, I really like him. He's so fun. I like to take Thorns with him, because if you pair Thorns with his 2 and you time it correctly, certain opponents, because of the nature of their attack, you can activate Thorns and his 2 at the same time and deal such a large chunk of damage to your opponent that is like you could kill them from really far away. Like Nuwa is a great example. Sometimes Nuwa is trying to escape a bad moment by ulting, and you know that her ult's arriving. So it's very easy. You just pop the 2 in the Thorns, and that could be it. That could finish her off. Or maybe like Rom or something. All right, Tyler Davis. Lots of examples, actually. He pairs really well against opponents that use like basic attacks. So if you're fighting a bunch of carries, you can take the Midgardian Mail and the that little mini dagger item that reduces basic attack speed, and it's like he becomes so impossible to kill. It's crazy. I just wouldn't want to go up against him if I had that sort of team composition. What's fun about Assault is you get really weird team compositions because it's randomized, and to a degree it's randomized, and people like to re-roll if they don't get a character they like. So you get these really undesirable team compositions on one team or both teams, and this turns into a scenario where you really get a very fun match going because you expect a team to lose under their condition. Tyler Davis. Did you have 2 bags, Tyler Davis? Hold on. This says Tyler Davis from 622. And this says Tyler Davis. I think you had 2 bags, Tyler. What? I just found this in the back of the box. Here we are. You can have 2 bags now. Having people to queue with is very important for ranked. I would agree with that. Let me skip this music. Wow, apparently that's Pokemon music. Sounds terrible. Shipwreck. I do like that gas. I'm going to give you this card because you're already grading the other one. All right. And Tyler, I think this might be yours too. So they'll be kept together now. Thank you, Tyler. Playing mid or jungle makes it easier to win based off how well you're playing. Common name, Tyler Davis. Could it be an older Tyler Davis? What's interesting, though, is he's ordering packs that Tyler Davis tends to order. Mr. Sounds Like a Nerd. This is a Pokemon waifu channel, not a nerd channel. Oh, my God. There we go. Woo! There we go. Tyler Davis. 10.22. There we go. Yeah, I really like playing Guardians. I thought it was interesting that Khepri actually was one of my highest win rates as a Guardian. All right, and then... All right, we're all done for sure this time. We're at 120 minutes. You still play Elden Ring? No Elden Ring anymore. Maybe I'll play it more when a new DLC comes out. Elden Ring was a mid-game. I really liked Elden Ring, Alex. See you guys later. This must be the GameConomist channel. Who's wrong? Click. I scored 4 touchdowns in one game. 4 touchdowns? Wow. See you later.